If we were to do a deep dive and look for the patterns of successful YouTube channels, YouTube collaborations would play a large part in most of them. So let's make this simple so that by the end of watching this video, you have your first or your next YouTube collaboration already lined up. Howdy, howdy everyone, Nate here. I created a template for you to walk you through this process step by step. It is free and I'm going to put the link in the pinned comment or the description. So you'll probably want to get that template and follow along as we do this. Step one, as you pull up the template, you're going to see this page, which includes a big ol' start here. The first thing we're doing here is going to the research tab up here, and we're going to this most wanted list. The first thing you want to do here is while you're watching this video, go here and click add task and add 5 to 10 different channels that you think you might want to do a collaboration with. So if I were doing that, I'd go like this. Now, while you're doing that, I want to explain the thinking behind this most wanted list. It's not that you think that if you reach out to them, they'll be 100% 10 out of 10. Heck yeah, I want to do a collaboration with you. No, rather, I want you to think of these as the types of creators that you would like to meet and or build a relationship with. Even if you never do a direct video traditional collaboration on the YouTube platform, you still want to add them to this list. Because one of the big points we're doing here is getting over the hurdle of why more people don't do collaborations more often. We think, oh, it's too complicated, they'll never want to listen to me, or I'm too small of a channel. I dare you, or I double dare you to just try this. All right, so we've accomplished step one, the identifying channels. And by the way, you can add many more channels here if you so desire. Now we move on to the next step, and that is the research of these channels. I want you to go to each of these creators and pay attention to what they are doing online, because we're going to be filling out a bit of a profile for this creator. And that includes filling in the contact name, a link to their channel, their email if they provided it. Also, if you click here, this can include the types of outreach you might do. And feel free to add additional options to the list. But here is where the real difference comes in. And this may be different than you have ever heard before. I provided a template here, if you click this, that I want you to go into and copy all of this. Select one of the people, paste it in here. Because what we are doing now is not reaching out to that person. No, it's doing a bit of homework first. And after doing this many times, I've distilled it down to 3 primary areas. So let's use Ali Abdal as an example. I'm going to be going to Ali's channel and answering these key questions, starting with, what are they really good at? I have an advantage here, and you will have an advantage also if these are channels that you've already watched their content on. But for Ali, I would say aesthetic. Is that aesthetic or aesthetic? Aesthetic. That's the American pronunciation. Positive, I can do it. Feeling, clear, helpful thumbnails, deep dives into expertise, mindset, and productivity. And I could keep going with this. So you've done that on the first channel on your list. Now let's go on to what you admire about them. Now there might feel like there's some overlap between what they're really good at and their areas of expertise, especially if you're the type of person that admires expertise. But what we're going to do here is on more of a personal level, what do you admire about this person? So in this example, what I put is conversational tone, meaningful connection with audience, feels like he really cares about people. And by the way, I do genuinely think all of these things. Content powerhouse and transparency. So if you've been following along, you have your own list going of what you admire about this person. Now let's move on to this third thing. And I say it's optional because you don't have to have this before you reach out to them. But what I'm going to put in here is on a personal level, I'd like to know this. And on a collaboration level, it might look like this, maintaining authenticity as a channel grows. And the ins and outs are an open conversation about how Ali and myself have gone about doing this as our channels have grown. All right, so after we've done that, it's time to move on to the next step, and that is outreach. Once I've started outreach, I can go ahead and check this box, and that will move it to the follow-up status up here. Now we need to talk about how to do the outreach. The way I see it, there are 2 buckets or 2 types of outreach you can do. The first would be peers, that a reasonable outsider would say, yeah, this person is about a peer in your same space. You might have a similar size of channel or audience as you, or they might be in a similar life situation. The other main type of outreach would be an upscale type of outreach, or if you're reaching out to someone that their channel is much larger than you, or they've been doing this longer, or their life situation is very different than yours. With peers, it's easier to just reach out and just say, I just want to have a conversation. I know we've never chatted before, but I genuinely just want to meet you. If it's more of an upscale style of outreach, you probably want to be a bit more clear of what you're asking for from that person. And it's not, get this, because they're somehow a more important person than you, or that you're not worth listening to. It's actually more that in many of those cases, their time is just more scarce. And so the clearer you are with what you are asking for from them, the more valuable and more helpful it is to them. So I've included a couple of templates. If you go back to the Start Here tab and you go to these outreach templates right here, I've tested these example messages out with good success, and these can be used in DMs or emails. I also think this is a good point to mention that if you click the Start Here, if you scroll down, I provided some additional helpful links to other videos I've created that will help complete the picture of this collaboration outreach. Okay, moving back to the research tab up here. Once you've started the outreach, you've checked the box, you've got all this contact information, you're respecting their time, you're seeing them as a human with real goals, real desires, real passions, real things that they are working on right now, just like you are. As soon as that person responds and they say, heck yeah, I would like to chat more with you, at that point, you can fill out this field, which is a date of when you are having your introduction call with this person. So let's say, just for example, Ali Abdal sees this video and he says, heck yeah, Nate, I can chat, and I can chat on this date right here, just some arbitrary date in the future. You can put the date in here because you're going to see it later on. Because now we're ready to move on to step 4, communication. Now, why do I think it's a good idea to chat one-on-one? Most of the time, the types of people that I personally and the other interactions or collaborations that I've had in the past, most of the time, I want to feel like I've established a connection with that person and I know what it's like to just hang out with them, even if it's virtually. Because it's important to note here, at this point, you're not even sure if you're going to do a collaboration video, and that is just fine. It's still worth your time and hopefully worth their time for you to just have a conversation to build a bridge and build a relationship. And it's also at this point, after you chat with someone, when you can say, that person was nice, but I do not want to collaborate with them. But really, the magic now is once you've scheduled an intro call, you can move over to the In Contact tab up here. And voila, we've got the people that we have established contact with. You can also see that I'm in contact with the Boop the Like button incorporated. Oh, that was a bad one. I've been having fun with putting the Boop the Like button into my videos, and some of them turn out better than others, but there you have it. If this video is being useful to you, go ahead and boop the like button. We need to move on. You'll notice at this point that we have some different columns here. You'll check this box when you have a collaboration scheduled. If you actually say, hey, I want to do something, I want to do a video with this person. But also, if you're having conversations with this person and there are some action items, maybe they have an upcoming launch and you want to do a shout out for them. Or maybe they say, hey, I'm really busy right now. Can you reach out again in 3 months? You can put those things in this section by clicking here and saying, help out with launch. The other thing I've included in here is if you click in, you can scroll down and see this. You can take notes on the conversations you have with this person. You can put the date, just another handy thing. Now we are ready to move on to step 5, collaborations. This is when we've said, heck yeah, we're going to do a collaboration together. We can check the box and it's going to get moved to the next tab, which you can find here along the top under partnered. And here is, as we're getting closer to actually producing that collaboration video, we can keep track of the people or the companies or the channels that we're in contact with, and we can also put in the exact date that that collaboration is going to happen. So when we've reached step 5 here is what you want to do. You are the person initiating the collaboration. And as such, you want to make it as good as humanly possible, both for the person you're collaborating with and for your audience. So for your co-collaborator, is that a word, collaborator? Or okay, it might just be collaborator. Here I am inventing words. For your collaborator, you want to make sure that you make it as simple as possible for them. So what I'm going to recommend, especially if you're not familiar with collaborations, is to make a video that you have the entire plan of the video and you are the host of the video and you're the one producing most of the video, and your collaborator is just going to appear in a small section of that video. It can be a shout out, it can be a small interview, it could be a cameo. What I found is this makes it very easy for you to reach out to that person and say, hey, I'm making a video about this specific thing. Would you mind recording a quick 2-minute section on your phone answering this specific question? So make it simple for them. And second, make it valuable for them. If there are ways that you can shout out their channel or show your audience how cool that person is or their channel is, it's going to be awesome for your collaborator, and it will make them much more likely to want to do the collaboration in the first place, but also to want to do collaborations in the future. For your audience, the 2 main focuses you want to have is 1, making it valuable for your audience. Make sure that the collaboration actually makes that piece of content a more valuable piece of content, which, by the way, you might want to look forward to more of this in the future. But second, you want that collaboration to make that video more enjoyable for your audience to consume. If you have done those things for your collaborator and for your audience, congratulations, you have executed a successful collaboration. All right, there's a bonus here, and that is the benefit of collaborations for you as a creator yourself. It is a lonely place. here on this rock, especially as YouTube creators. If we're solopreneurs or we're solo creating things, it can be very lonely. You need people in your life to spend time with, to get outside perspectives on, to think outside the box. I mentioned that in last week's video. It is exceptional for your mental health, and the relationships I have established while doing this have meant so much to me. And also, if you want to know how to identify what channels might be the very best candidates for collaborations, you're going to want to
see a video catching my eye. Someone's calling for a collaboration. Thought, hey, I could give it a try.